Alright, so we're going to be looking at every single anime from the spring 2024 season and really just break it down. I think there are a lot of great shows that are continuing. We're getting a lot of sequels, but we're also getting some very unique anime that I think are going to potentially become some of my personal favorites. So I want to just sort of make this video to cover my initial thoughts on all these shows and sort of talk about my initial impressions, if I think a show is going to be long lasting or I'm probably going to drop or put off down the road. So I'm just going to start off by talking about Konosuba here, because Konosuba is on its third season and I was worried for a second that it wouldn't hold up in quality. I thought that season 1 and 2 were so good and the movie was even better, and so I was worried that going forward we would get maybe a dip in quality. But nope, that doesn't seem to be the case here. We get more Konosuba goodness, some actually really great scenes, and it really cements itself as one of the best isekais of all time. Not only for its unique premise, unique characters, but just it's one of the most comedic shows I have seen. It constantly berates you with jokes that you burst into tears from watching it because it's so funny. And the more that I keep thinking about this show, there's just more to point out and more bits to laugh at with some friends. So I'm glad to see that we're getting more continuation with that, as well as just the idea that, you know, we could be seeing the fully animated version of the light novels here. So I'm excited to see where this goes from here, but that's just me. Alright, so next up we have Demon Slayer, of course. So I don't know if this was just the movie that is on here or if it's the season. Because the season, yeah, it's going to be in May, so it's going to be a little bit longer. But I did go see the movie, which included the first episode of the new season, so I can't speak to that. Although I did not hear too many great things about this arc in terms of the hype going in from everyone who read the manga. I did watch this and did see that Ufotable has continuously proven themselves to revolutionize 3D animation within the industry with its 3D settings. And personally, I thought Demon Slayer peaked with the Entertainment District arc. Just that whole last 5 episodes were just pure action, and I have never seen an anime do that. So personally, that was my favorite point, and last season wasn't as great, but it did have great moments, and you get to see a little bit more here. We're definitely nearing the climax of this overarching story, and I'm excited to see where they take the story, because what they've introduced is a very interesting direction that I didn't think that this story would go. But overall, I think if you're into Demon Slayer, if you're into the action and animation, don't worry, it is not going to be a letdown. I think it's going to be just as good as every other season, if not better. Where I'm a little bit worried is the story, but I've only seen 1 episode, and that 1 episode was pretty good, so hopefully that's continued throughout the season. Now, I'm looking at this list now. It's That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime Season 3. Guilty pleasure of mine. I consider this Kingdom Seed anime, or Kingdom Seed Isekai, which means it's about sort of an isekai protagonist or fantasy protagonist whose main motivation and goal is to build a kingdom where everyone can thrive, everyone who is nice, very caring, and build really a peaceful utopia for all. And Slime falls under this in the best way possible. Just seeing him build this nation, making allies, helping people, it's all just incredible. And it is really a guilty pleasure for me at times, specifically when you watch like sort of that slice of life extra bits they throw in. I love that. So Slime, if you haven't seen that too, I would highly recommend that alongside Konosuba as 2 isekai you definitely need to check out if you haven't already. And of course, I cannot talk about those 2 isekai without talking about the continuation of Mushoku Tensei 2, part 2. So the second core of season 2, and this is regarded by some as one of, if not the greatest isekai of all time in terms of its scale, in terms of it being the backbone of a lot of stories that we see currently. It is really the front runner on telling a perfect fantasy story and how to create a perfect thriving world. And Mushoku Tensei has already proven itself not only to be amazing in terms of the story, but its animation quality is honestly some of the best. And with the ending of the first core in season 2 ending with a big revelation and a big end, or I guess it's a big change, and our main character Rudy here goes on a major character arc, I love to see that this season is exploring that payoff that he eventually worked towards and really very much deserves. And it's very wholesome right now, and I am excited to see where they take the story. It's really just living its life, and I think that's what I appreciate the most about Mushoku Tensei is there's very much a driving plot. There is an overarching narrative, but there are also times where you can slow down and breathe and just suck up this world as if it's real. And the atmosphere, I think, just takes you away every single time because of how detailed, how amazing it is. And it continuously blows my mind as one of the best written fantasy stories out there just because of its writing. And I think it's up there with, of course, Free Ren that just came out, Delicious in Dungeon, which is currently airing as well. We may talk about that later. And, of course, ReZero. I can't mention great fantasy writing without mentioning ReZero. So yeah, so great to see more of continuation with that. Okay, and now we have Boku no Hero Academia 7th season coming in May. So it's still a ways away, but what can I say about this other than My Hero will always have a soft spot for me personally, because this was my gateway. I watched season 1 and season 2 before any other anime. And the only anime I had seen before were a couple Studio Ghibli films. And by a couple, I mean one and then parts of a couple others. So my knowledge at this time was very limited. So I'm going to be a little bit nicer to this than a lot of other people. However, I also acknowledge that based on the time crunch of pumping this out very frequently to the point where it's almost caught up with the manga, as well as just the quality dip from season 1 and season 2 onward, I understand why people are frustrated with this property. And I understand the story is also really, really convoluted and kind of bad at this point too with the whole war arc. So I read the manga. I kind of stopped reading the manga. I wouldn't say I dropped it, but it's on indefinite hold. I don't know if that's better, but yeah, I just with Boku no Hero, I don't know. I want to give it more praise, but because of its quality and because I am actually let down based on the progression of the story, what the story has devolved into with destroying its world building and the themes that it built up and set up with the earlier seasons. I think this is just a product of blowing up so popular so quickly that there was a demand to do something else with this story that a lot of the people who originally watched this show weren't signed up for. And the 7th season continues down that path where it's more, oh, he keeps getting more powers, or oh, we keep escalating stakes and creating many different villains to fight the whole class all at once in 5 different locations. There's a lot to piece together. So I'll try maybe and give it a chance, but personally, I'm kind of over My Hero, and I will leave it at a solid 6 out of 10, just across the board, because I do have an appreciation for the 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, season 1 and season 2, but onward, I don't know how I feel. So that's just my thoughts. All right, so it looks like those were just the continuations. And finally, we get our first original anime of the season, which is Kaiju 8 Go, or the Godzilla show, or I like to call it the Attack on Titan Godzilla show. This one has been hyped up a lot. There's been a lot of advertising around this because of just the unique premise, the designs. Godzilla is on the rage right now because of Godzilla Minus One, and of course the new Godzilla movie that came out in the US, Godzilla X Kong, A New Empire. So Godzilla is very much in the mainstream at the moment. So I get why they were pushing it so much. Just makes sense via marketing. And honestly, I was a little bit hesitant watching the show because it does take a while to get into it. But by the end, it goes a little bit crazy and it kind of hooks you at the end. And you start to piece together this world and you're like, okay, I can get on board with this. So the new episode drops tomorrow. It's going to be episode 2. But from the first episode, I am on board. It's going to create some interesting developments. And if they can create sort of a unique and interesting world to explore full of more mysteries, I am on board for the long run. So yeah, I am very optimistic with how this one's going to go. All right, so I think this is Spice and Wolf. That's what it's called. It's an old anime that they're doing a fresh reboot of, or a revival, I guess is a better way to put it. So I think that this show right here is something that I'm going to give a chance to. I've heard really great things about it, and what I've been seeing online with the animation like the improvements within the animation style and the animation itself, as well as the characters, I'm going to give it a chance. And I haven't seen it yet, but by the end, I promise you, I will at least watch a single episode of this, and I'll let you know what I think. This one I have seen. I kind of put it on indefinite hold though. So this one is the Misfit of Demon King Academy, I think, or something along those lines. It's one of those long titles, so you can't fault me for this. But from what I have seen, it is season 1. I think was peak for it. It was so funny because it was really just a gag show. It took itself so seriously that it was so unserious about it. So that's what was so funny about it. But with this season 2 coming out, I think it lost some of that charm, and it really became convoluted when it delved into who the antagonist was, what was the overarching story, what is even going on at this point, because at one point in season 2 there's like 10 characters that show up out of nowhere and he beats like 6 of them, and you're like, wait, who are they? And then they're like, oh, we're gonna come back and destroy you. And then there's like a villain twist that also doesn't make sense, so I kind of stopped after that because I just got confusing. And also there was also a delay because I think this was going on over COVID, and so there was a little bit of a delay for the first core of this. And so now that they're continuing with the second core, it looks like they're going strong. But personally, I may not return to this, but if I hear good things about it from my peers or online, I'll maybe really sit down and try and get through it. And maybe it'll, straighten out for me. But at the moment, this is a show that I was just kind of like, if you want to watch season 1, it's great. But season 2, I would say, unless you're really invested in it, maybe like watch the first episode and gauge it for yourself. That's all I'm saying. And now Windbreaker, I just watched the 3rd episode, I believe, for this one. And yeah, this is ramping up to be an amazing delinquent show that is infinitely better than Tokyo Revengers. I think that's what everyone is saying right now, which is really funny. Because it's just, I don't know, it's just one of those shows that just has great action, great humor, amazing characters, a great message behind it. And you just feel wholesome watching it because it's about delinquents trying to help a city after they've been terrorized by these other delinquent gangs. And I think that's just such an interesting premise. The main character is interesting because he was ostracized based on how he looks. So he adopted the delinquent lifestyle because of that. And yeah, I don't know. I like the characters. One of them's a little bit annoying and reminds me of Takemichi. You know who I'm referring to if you've seen the show. But overall, he's used very sparingly, and most of the concentrations on the badass characters. So I can't fault it for that, but yeah, it's just awesome. Now, oh boy, this one. So this show, I think it's the irregular at the magical school, whatever. It's just boring. And I believe it's a little bit incestuous. That's like why it was put on the map, which then again, if you are familiar with the anime space, that is a very unfortunate common occurrence when it comes to like sort of that lower quality anime that deals with schools or very, very tropey scenarios. So unfortunately, I think I watched the first season and I watched like halfway through the first episode, and then I decided, let me put it on hold. I want to watch this other show, and never got back to it. So I think I may not return to the third season unless I hear really good things about it, but I highly doubt it. So I think that's just my thing with all these shows that I'm like just not returning to, is unless I hear otherwise, I'm probably not going to return to it. But now Data Live is a little bit interesting because with Data Live, I've seen, I think, a little bit into season 3. I think that's where I stopped, and I put it on hold. For me, it got a little bit too tropey and didn't explore some of the themes that I was wanting from this show. But then again, it's also a harem and an ecchi, so I don't know. Or I guess it's less of it's like a toned down ecchi, but it's definitely a harem for sure. But yeah, I don't have anything against this show per se. It's just I don't have anything really exciting to say aside from the designs are pretty neat. They're pretty sick. Some of them I really vibe with, and the main character isn't atrocious for a harem show. I know the bar's in hell, but that's something at least. And the girls are, I guess the characters are all likable. I think that's one of the pluses of watching this show. So maybe I'll get back into it if I get bored and end up catching up on all those shows. But at the moment, I'm just going to be on hold just because I need to catch up on 2 seasons to eventually get to this new season coming out now. And what is this show? Blah, blah, blah. I believe this one right here. I'm blanking on the name, but I think I remember watching a little bit of it. So it's about let's see, auction. Actually, never mind. There's another show that's like this. Let me see if I can scroll down and see if I could find it. No. Some of these do look similar, I will say. Let's see. Oh, yep. Never mind. I thought this was a different show. I haven't seen this one yet, so we'll get to it. It does look interesting though, and it's a fantasy story, so I probably have to watch it because I'm big into fantasy. But yeah, sorry. We're gonna get to that later. There's a show that I was thinking that this was it, but no, it's completely different. Okay, now this one, my friend and I were both looking forward to this because we're both into Super Sentai. We think Super Sentai is amazing. And so imagine this show is Super Sentai, everything you love about it, or Power Rangers if you're American or don't know anything about Super Sentai. So it's like Power Rangers, but from the perspective of, say, something like the show The Boys, or Invincible, where the heroes, the good guys that you look up to are actually criminals or really bad people. And I think that is just such an amazing premise off the bat. This is also probably one of my favorites. It's going to be one of my favorites, I can say confidently, just because the main character is someone I relate to a lot, which is someone who, is very much someone who is very passionate about something, who wants to fulfill his life's goal, I guess. But the problem is that everyone makes fun of him. And through his sheer determination, he wants to take down, of course, the Dragon Keepers, which are the Super Sentai heroes of this world. And there's some interesting plot developments that they came out with, I believe, 2 episodes already. And so far, it looks great. And I'm excited to see where the story is going to go, because there's an interesting plot twist at the end of season, sorry, not season 2, episode 2, that implicates some things. And I love a story that starts off simplistic with a goal in mind, where we have to stop this evil person, or we have to destroy this system, and while doing so, more things, more morally great things come bubble up to the surface. So I'm excited to see where they take the story from here. Definitely keep an eye out for this, and I would highly recommend this if you want something new from your stereotypical tropey shows that you're used to. Which, speaking of tropey and, very commonplace, we have this one. It's a fantasy story. It's the Seventh Prince, blah blah blah, long title, Isekai. But this one's unique because it's a dude who was already in a fantasy world with magic, and he gets reincarnated into another fantasy world, but this time he's born as an aristocrat, or prince. Sorry, not aristocrat, prince. And so he went from sort of a peasant to someone in royalty. And I don't know how I feel about this, because everyone has been memeing the design of our hero here, our main character, just because of how he looks, like Prince Lloyd. I don't know why they would draw him like that. And it is very sus, I will say. But with everything else going on, with sort of just the interesting premise of him just wanting to live his life and become learn as much magic as possible without any aspirations and stuff, I feel like this is just a sit back, almost slice of life adventure. And sure, there's going to be lots of things that happen, maybe the people are going to learn about his powers, and plot developments may change where he gains allies but gains enemies in the process as well. But what I can say is it's very much a chill show that you can turn on and relax to. There's no deeper themes, and I don't think that's a bad thing. And like this one here, this next one, Jisan Basan Wakegaru. This one is the old couple show I've been hearing a lot about, which is there's this old couple that wakes up one day and they're young again. And I heard there were some weird things within episode 1, but for the most part, it is very wholesome, very slice of life, and you can't go wrong with that. So I haven't seen this, but I've heard really good things. So maybe I'll watch a couple a couple of the first episodes and see if I want to complete it or not. This next one, Hananoi Kun to Koi no Yamai is this one's a romance show. I'm blanking on the English title. But I've been seeing it advertised a lot. It's a romance, and I'm all into great romance stories, especially within this space, because a lot of them are awful. So I'm probably gonna check this one out. I'm just hoping it's decent and not and it doesn't end terribly or isn't horribly tropey. But I don't get that vibe from the show. So hopefully when I watch it, it does give me that. Unnamed Memory is also kind of along the same lines, where it's another romance, but it's also fantasy. And there's an interesting, I guess it's an interesting premise. I believe it's also an amnesia story. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna give it a shot. I vaguely know anything about this show, but it's rated pretty decently on Mal, so maybe I'll check it out. And then Bartender, I haven't heard a single thing about. I'm gonna be completely honest here. Maybe I'll give it a shot. But it seems like if anything, this show right here could garner maybe like a niche community of fans, if it's decent enough. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll watch it if I have time, maybe not. But this is very much a, I guess, more laid back show than some of the others this season. Yuri Camp Season 3. Now, this one is a show that I have seen a couple episodes of the first one, and it's just a slice of life, girls going camping, and you learn about camping, both car camping and just the regular type of camping, and it's very laid back. And if you want a show just talking about the fun of camping, the fun of the outdoors, learning a couple things along the way, that's not very deep. You don't have to turn on your brain or anything to enjoy this. This is the show for you, and I can't get mad at that. That's just so wholesome. And I just realized I said Yuri, it's Yuru Clamp. So yeah, apologies for that. Then we have Remonster here. Remonster I've been watching. It does one thing right. I think it's 4 episodes in or 3 episodes in. But basically it falls under the Kingdom Seed subgenre of isekai, where again, like Slime, it's about building a community, helping people, being just very wholesome in nature. And it's about this guy who dies with superpowers, which is weird. It's interesting. Like, again, you're taking an isekai, but instead of being from like the standard normal world, you know, everyday world, you're from like a superpowered world, and you're going into an isekai with those powers, and you get turned into a monster. So that premise alone is also very unique. It's also an older anime too, so I've heard pretty good things about it, and so far the anime has been amazing. And they had the balls to do something that a lot of fantasy anime don't like to do, and I want to give them props because they were able to pull that off within, I guess, the gap of 3 episodes. So if you know what I'm talking about, they did a great job. It just proves that they're not really holding back with our main character here. That's all I want to say with that. Now, this one is also very interesting. I would say Remonster and this one right here, as well as... I'm just going to scroll up really quickly. I won't say Slime, because Slime is on a different level than them. But these 2 shows right here, I'm going to call it right now, they're the above average fantasy stories of the season. Or isekai. They're both isekai. So, because what they both managed to do is they managed to create just something fun that you can just sit back and enjoy. And with that intention of just being purely just fan service, both in the literal sense, but also in the sense of just building just wholesome communities and helping the people around you and just having a great time. There's just nothing wrong with that. And so I've been watching both of these. I've been caught up with both of these. And yeah, I just think it's great. Now, this one I haven't seen yet. I'm not going to say that title because it's long and I don't want to mess that up, but it looks like this is Yuri. Nice. Maybe I'll check it out because I'm watching this other Yuri show of the season. Maybe we'll get to it if it's on this list, but yeah, maybe I'll give it a chance. But yeah, I know nothing about this. It's just it's highly rated, so I'll check that out. And it looks like it's also a slice of life, so I appreciate that too. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to come up with things to say, but like for the most part, it's like if I don't know the show and all I'm going off is girls love, then I'm just like, okay, I guess that's how we're rolling. Let's see. Next we have this one. So this one is, I think, it's basically Spy Family all over again, but kind of different. Awesome. Okay, we're back. So apparently, for this one, I don't know where this cut off. I was talking about that Yuri show. There's not many things I know about it. I'm gonna check it out because it is Girls Love, it is Yuri, and personally, when you get a good, so okay, the worst genre in all of anime is the rom-com genre, or romance in general too. That also stinks a lot. I don't know what it is, they just can't write it. But what's even worse than that is the subgenre within the romance genre, and that is the Yuri genre or the GL or BL genre. And they just can't write it, I swear. And when you find like a good one, it's very rare, and there's a reason for why it's good. So, yeah, I'm gonna check this one out. Hopefully, it's good. I mean, I see the ratings are pretty decent, so I'm hopeful for that. And yeah, so that was sort of my last thoughts on that show. We're now talking about this spy family show that has come out, and it's basically what is it? It's so for this one, it's uh so this one is basically spy family, but it's a family of spies that know everyone's a spy, which is fun. And yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with this one. Um, it's just a fun time, and I haven't seen it yet, but what I've been told from people is that it's definitely worth a shot. So I'm definitely gonna be checking this one out too. I don't know. I'm kind of losing steam here. I just don't know how to put it if I don't see these shows, which now I can talk about because I have seen this one. Wait, this one's an ecchi? What the heck? I didn't even get that from the first episode. What happens in episode 2? This one I think is God's Game or something like that. Honestly, it's a worse version of No Game No Life. Because No Game No Life is funny. This one isn't, but I will say it's not bad by any means. It's just semi-decent. And I was trying to watch episode 2, and I couldn't watch it. I knew it came out. I didn't have anything else to watch, but I just couldn't sit myself down and watch it. So I'm gonna try and finish this one. It's kind of interesting because it's talking about gods coming down, and you get to play gods and get stronger. But the characters are just not interesting for me. Like the main character, he has the potential to be good, but they don't give him anything really cool to do, so he's not cool, you know? He's just kind of like, I'm just lost potential at this point. So I'll try and keep watching this, but I'm gonna be honest here, I'm probably gonna drop this. Let's see, what's this one? This is like the appraisal isekai one. Haven't seen it yet, but I'm gonna watch it because isekai, and it's unique enough, I guess. I guess that's the standard here, so I'm probably gonna check this out. And plus, the reviews aren't bad. I was gonna say aren't decent. No, they're not bad. They're pretty decent. Black Butler. I need to watch Black Butler. I need to catch up on it. But from what I've seen, I know why it's popular. It's an older show, and this is just a continuation. They brought it back, and I know a lot of people who are excited. A lot of people. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to catch up on this show, because if this many people are gushing about Black Butler, then I definitely have to catch up. Euphonium 3, Hibiki Euphonium 3. I know I have seen the first seasons being promoted a lot. I haven't seen it, so I can't comment on it, but hey, it doesn't look bad. So if you're into music, maybe give it a shot. Also, it's Kyoto Animation, which you can't go wrong with Kyoto. Kyoto is just amazing across the board, so yeah. Drawing this show right here, I think this is an idol anonymous artist group. Is this the idol show this season? Haven't seen this one yet, but look, pretty good reviews as well, so I'm gonna give this a shot too, just to see what it is. But I'm gonna be completely honest, I haven't seen this one either. This one as well, I haven't seen it. It looks like a mystery show. Yeah, it is a mystery show. And it doesn't look bad, so maybe I'll give it a shot too. So this one's definitely going on the list as well. This one is light novel. Good for Nothing. Low Life, God's Gift. I have this on my list. I was gonna watch it, but I just didn't get a chance to. But it's an isekai. It's a fantasy. So yeah. Or no, it's not an isekai. It's just a fantasy. So yeah, I'll probably watch that. Oh no, that's not good. I'll watch the first episode, and if it's not good, I'll drop it. Let's just say that. This one right here, haven't seen Blue Archive, but I've been seeing a lot of things about it, so I'm gonna have to watch it just to see what everyone's talking about there. The New Gate, I have seen, and it's decent. It is, so it's not mid, but it's on the border of like painfully average and like above average. So it's like directly in the middle of the two. Which, I mean, I think it's perfect. 6.65, that's a perfect way to rate this. This is also the show I confused with the earlier show up here. I thought this was the same show, but it wasn't. But yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's like SAO, but instead of, Kirito freeing everyone, and then he gets freed too, he's the one who gets stuck, and he gets transported into the same world 500 years later. And so it's basically the game, but instead of, clearing the game, he cleared the game. He's just now stuck in this world. So he doesn't know what this is. And there's a little bit of a mystery behind it. But what I've seen so far, I wasn't like blown away by. I wasn't impressed. But I was like, this could be cool. This could be like, it could have the potential to be decent. That's what I will say. Angel, One Room, Angel, something. I did see this. Maybe I'll get to it. I know it's a rom-com, so there could be fun things there, maybe. Who knows? Mythology. There we are. Mythology, that's the theme. Okay, this one looks like this could be a sleeper hit. I think it's A Train to the End of the World or something like that. That's the title. But whenever you have shows like that, it reminds me of like this photo right here. Reminds me of Girls in Panzer, I think. The tank, the show with the two girls in the tank, which was such an interesting anime. And yeah, I don't know. I have good feelings about this show. I haven't seen it yet though. I have seen the first season of this, and I think more people should be talking about the Duke of Death and his maid, because it's just such a heartwarming show. It's also a great romance. It's a very unique art style, combining sort of 3D characters into like water painted, water paintings in the back, like for the background. It is so beautifully done. Combined with, you throw in supernatural elements like witches and, the premise of him touching anything with his bare hands, it kills it. It dies. So there's interesting things with the drama, with, him fracturing his relationship with his family because of this curse that he was given, which was out of his control, to like finding out who was the witch who cursed him in the first place, to exploring the world of the witches and exploring this maid that has been so kind to him and what they could be in the future. So I love this show. I'm definitely going to catch it up. I just put it on hold because I got really busy during this time in my life when I was watching it, and I feel so bad for it. But definitely, if you want a good romance, this is the show to check out. And the reviews agree with me. This is a good show. Speaking of another great romance show, the one that's very new this season is this radio show about two girls. And yes, it is Girls Love. I was told that this is going to be a Yuri. And it's about two idols who go to the same school. and they don't realize it until they are forced to work together. And what I love about it is that they're rivals. So it could be potentially a rivals to lovers or enemies to lovers. And that is one of my favorite tropes. And this is not to be confused with bullies to lovers, because that is one of the worst tropes ever. Enemies to lovers is something that is very healthy, that has two characters who equally hate each other's guts. But because they hate each other's guts, it's actually through learning about the other person and their own struggles and their own life that they become closer. And I think that's a perfect formula to creating romance. And when it's done really well, it's one of the best shows ever made, regardless of if it's anime or even outside of anime. So yeah, definitely watching this one with very much high hopes. I'm excited to see where this goes, and it's very wholesome. It's just a talk show. It's about talking about high school and talking about the industry and how you have to put on a show and work hard to achieve your dreams, and you can't go wrong with that. The Fable I have not seen. It's about a hitman, it seems like. Blah, blah, blah. Face Deadly Puzzle. So it looks like a very Yakuza-based show, but it's a comedy as well, and it does look like that from from the image here. So I'll check it out. I just haven't seen it, so I don't know or have anything to say regarding that. Next, Salad Bowl. This one's very much a slice of life, but even for slice of life, for me, this is just a little bit slow, and it's a little bit annoying. So I may drop this in the future, just as a heads up. It had a lukewarm reception from me personally when it came to its first episode. And I know episode 2 dropped, and I don't know if episode 3 dropped as well, but I'm gonna be honest, I'm probably not. It's gonna be a while. It's gonna take a lot for me to continue this one. Now, although there is a little bit of a discrepancy when it comes to what makes, I think, great anime amazing is animation quality. Because there can be great anime who, on the technical aspect, is spectacular. But the problem is with the writing and the actual story it's based off of, it could be terrible. And I think this show falls under that trap where it actually isn't one of my favorite looking shows in terms of animation. It is an amazing story. And that's why I want to follow along with this, because this is a webtoon, based off a webtoon. And it's about YouTube, but they call it NewTube, which I think is really funny. But it's about fighting, which is in my ballpark, and fighting against people who bully each other, and about power scaling, but in the sense of power scaling in popularity. So this dude wants to fight bullies to gain popularity and gain all these subscribers to earn money to help people in his life. And that's very wholesome. He wants to help, his mother's in the hospital. He wants to help pay those hospital bills. So he's going to go viral. He's going to be a TikTok sensation or YouTuber or streamer or anyone on that echelon of greatness. And as a fellow YouTuber, I got to respect that. I got to respect the hustle. But I'm already going to say it right now. My favorite character in this poster right here is going to be that bird character. They just introduced him. I won't say how they introduced him or who he is, but I already can tell he's going to be the GOAT. He's going to be the homie. He's already my favorite character. Girls Band Cry, haven't seen. Toei Animation. So, same people behind One Piece. Seems like it's pretty decent reviews here. Yeah. I'll give this a shot. It's not my personal favorite genre, which is like sort of the music genre here, but I'll give it a shot. Now this one, Vampire Dormitory, have seen it as well, being advertised on Crunchyroll. I haven't seen it, but I'll give it a shot. It also seems semi-decent as well. Like, at least I'm noticing this for a lot of shows. Like, the worst they're gonna get is like semi-decent. Like, this one's the lowest, like 5 stars here, which isn't bad on average for all those all those viewers. So I'll give this a shot, but we'll see what happens. As long as it's not 4 or 3, I'm definitely gonna at least be watching some of these. This one just seems like a wholesome one. Ooh, this Boys Love 2 and Slice of Life. Okay, I'm gonna check it out. See, this is what I want. I want the anime industry to embarrass like just the normal rom-coms, which is coming out with so many BL and great BL and great GL, where the library just increases in terms of that, where the volume of great shows outweighs the ones for the rom-com, so then it pushes the rom-coms, the normal ones, to make better stories. Because we're starving. All the romance fans over here in anime are starving for good content, and we'll get some good ones. But for the most part, a lot of them end poorly or start poorly or a combination of both. So, Astronaut, another romance. Ooh, but it's also sci-fi and comedy. Haven't seen it, but probably will give it a shot. I've been seeing this a lot too. This one's the baseball one of the season. Now I have seen Ace of Diamond. I was a big fan of Ace of Diamond. And this one is done by Mappa, so which is funny because not a lot of people are watching the show despite it being Mappa. So we'll see how this goes. I'll give it a shot to support those Mappa animators. They're going through a lot. This one I have no idea what this is. But it's unique enough to grab my interest. So I'm gonna look at this too. It doesn't look like it's like your stereotypical anime. This very much looks like something out of a Chinese anime or a Korean anime, or you know what I mean, where it's like a Chinese web novel or I think they call it dogwa or a Korean manhwa. But yeah, I think it's one of those. It's historical, so definitely. Oh wait, it's a novel. That's what it is. Okay, yeah, that's probably why. Hey, I've seen some shows where it's based on novels and they've been spectacular. So maybe it's one of those. And then this next one, it looks like a fun slice of life. Haven't seen it. It's Linden Films. I know they're a little bit less known to a lot of people. But I'll give this a shot. It's a slice of life. You can't go wrong with good slice of lives. This one's a racing one too. Ooh, this one's our first four. I kind of want to watch it just to see why people hate it so much. But it's Studio A-Cat. It's original too. I'll have to see how this is. It's basically futuristic racing. So I'll give this one a shot. And then this next one, Source Other. It's an adaptation of a stage play. That sounds interesting. But it doesn't seem like it's that great to a lot of people. But then again, it's also very limited pool of reviews here. I'll give this one a shot too. Let's see. Idol Master. I mean, it's an idol anime. You can't go wrong with idol anime. So yeah. Oh, it's based off a game too. That explains it. I was gonna sort of blast through these because they're all the obscure ones. OLM. This looks like a golfing one. That looks pretty decent. It also got pretty decent reviews too. This one's a biking one. That's decent. A women's bicycle racing. What's your TMS Entertainment? Okay, yeah. Oh, it's mixed media too. Probably based off games or books or something. Nijijoy. Why do I say Nijijoy? Nijijon. 4-comma manga. This could be shorts. Yeah, they're 3-minute. They're shorts. So it's just kind of fun if you want the TikTok equivalent for anime episodes, this is what you'd watch because they're 3 minutes. And the new Pretty series, believe this is another idol one. Shadowverse Flame. This is based on a card game. There's pretty much a lot of Shadowverse anime just coming out, so this is just more of the same if you're a fan of that. No reviews for this. That's how many people are watching. Shibuya Hachi, not enough reviews, I guess. Um, he's been watching over. Oh, so it's based off the dog. That's pretty cool. But it's only 2 minutes, so maybe it's just like a one episode thing. And this one's a one episode thing. Yutu Nia, that's kind of funny. It's the second season. And yeah, and then continuing One Piece. I mean, One Piece is going through Egghead right now. Amazing. Detective Conan, you can't go wrong with Detective Conan. Detective Conan will always be peak. Dungeon Meshi, one of the best fantasy stories to come out as of recently. It's amazing. Please watch Dungeon Meshi. It's just getting better and better. There's so many interesting things they're exploring now, going into the second core that weren't explored in the first, but the first did set them up in a brilliant way. So this is actually the one cooking show I would recommend. I wouldn't see. It's funny. I wouldn't recommend Food Wars. I think Food Wars is definitely for a specific type of person to watch. This is a show that a lot of people can sit down and watch and enjoy. Dungeon Meshi here. This is a great one. And Trigger blows it out of the water with its animation. And there's just I want to gush more about it, but I made a separate video on it because I don't want to spend too much time already talking about what makes this show great. So if you want to check this one out, just watch my video. Also, it's a seinen too. There's lots of great seinen anime, or some of the best seinen out there is shows like this and Vinland Saga Season 2. So that if you like Vinland Saga Season 2 with its slow burn, with its exploration, and you like the in-depth analysis of these characters, watch Dungeon Meshi because you'll get some of that same sort of brilliant writing coming from just, I guess, great, more adult themes here. Moonlit Fantasy is amazing. I've been loving it. This is my guilty pleasure. Also, a Kingdom Seed anime where it's about this guy who wants to build this basically utopia for these demi-humans, for people who look down upon him because of the way he looks. And the end of season 1 blew me away just based on where they went. And season 2, people are saying it's slow. I don't mind it. I think it's excellent because it's setting up a lot of interesting things going forward. And now that we're into the second core, or the later half of it, which it's continuous, so I'm happy because it's 25 episodes here. You're getting a lot of more development, and I made my own video for it because I love it so much. So I want to talk more about this, but I have to get to a lot of I want to finish this list of other shows. So if you want to hear my thoughts in full about this, you can check out that video too. It's on my channel. Ninja Kamui, I've heard really good things about, haven't seen yet. But I'm going to definitely get to this one because this has been one of the most hyped shows from just online buzz. Crayon Shin-chan, if you love this show, it's been running for a while. And it's very iconic. I know his face anywhere. I haven't seen it personally, but I am cultured enough to know who he is as a big deal. I mean, he's on the billboards, like the digital billboards in Japan. So, or the displays. That's how big he is. Urusei Yatsura, it's a reboot with the animation redone. It's from a classic anime. And David Production, you killed it. And the only tragedy is not enough people are watching this and talking about it, because they did this infinitely better than the original. And it basically takes everything you love and refines it with a fine, like a fine comb. There's another baseball one. It's a continuation. Haven't seen it, but doesn't look bad. Haven't heard of this one, Saze-san, but looks interesting. Probably won't watch it though, because it looks like it's been running for a while, so it's one of those older shows, and I don't think I'll have the time to get through every single one of them. Same with this one. This is also an old show. Yu-Gi-Oh! If you know, you know. Also, long-running show, but this season, it doesn't look like it's that hot with fans right now. So, yeah, card game, of course. siblings work. Apparently there's aliens in this one. Okay. Maybe Kaiba's plan actually worked in sending cards to space so aliens can learn how to play. That's kind of funny. Precure, I mean, it's Precure. It's continuation. Toei Animation does it. I believe it says action fantasy. I think it's Idol too. That's what it is. Sci-fi suspense. This one is other Toei Animation. Toei's just sort of doing all like the safe ones, I guess, with One Piece as well. They're not big hitters like One Piece or Dragon Ball and such, but you can definitely see that. I don't know what this one. It's a little short, so it's a minute. This one's 5 minutes, so it's a little cartoon short. Both are comedies, I guess. Ninja Law, I've been seeing a lot. I tried watching the first episode, couldn't get into it. I'm sorry. It's based off a game, I know, but I don't know. It just feels forced, and it's not for me. I already could tell just based on what I've seen. This one, 0 minutes. Don't know what this is. Don't know what this is. We're just gonna skip all the way down. Risemon does not know what this is. And yeah, I think. Oh, Grim Variations. That they advertised that. I saw that. It's like a retelling of the Grimm fairy tales, but they're like, we're gonna make it dark. But the problem is well, it's not really a problem. It's just like, why would you try and make it dark? The original stories are already dark. If anything, it was Disney who took the Grimm stories and turned them very family friendly. Like the original weren't that way. But I guess I'm all for reinterpreting these stories and really putting a spin on them, because that makes it original. So I'm not really opposed to that. It's on Netflix. Maybe I'll see it, maybe I won't. I'm up in the airs for this one. My arms are up in the air. Sandland, this one's really sad. Because of course with the passing of Akira Toriyama this year, who was just a revolutionary person. Like, he reached the pinnacle of anime and is revered by so many because of what he was able to accomplish with Dragon Ball and Dragon Quest and all these other series that still have an effect that a lot of people don't even know about. He's a master of his craft, and Sandland, I think, is one of the last things he worked on. So I haven't seen, it's kind of embarrassing. I haven't seen a single thing of Dragon Ball, I'm gonna be completely honest. But I have seen the Dragon Quest anime, and I know he didn't work on that directly. He more did the designs for the Dragon Quest characters. I could definitely see the similarities for Dragon Ball. And so I'm going to give Dragon Ball a chance eventually. Baki versus Kengan Ashura. I saw that. It's going to be a movie. Nice. T-Bone. Saint Seiya. I don't know what this is. I don't like Saint Seiya, this one, because 3D animation. I mean, it's Toei, but like, I prefer the classic. I prefer the 2D. And when they did the new one and they took one of the characters and ruined the point of his character for no real good reason, I decided to check out. Watch the original. That's what I will say. Watch the original Saint Seiya, because you'll like it. Don't know what this is. It's a sequel apparently, but 0 minutes, so how can it be? Oh, it's a game too. Rising Impact, don't know what that is. 0 minutes. Animated short film about Genshin Impact character. Okay. I don't think that counts as, I think this is something you watch online, like a YouTube thing. I don't really think this counts as anime. There's more anime here, more Chinese anime. Yeah, I think. Oh, and then of course we have movies, but we won't talk about movies. This video is already long enough. So yeah, I think that's just pretty much it. I just wanted to ramble. But yeah, what I was saying before I got cut off, I was just scrolling down the list. It doesn't seem like I know anything else really when it comes to these shows. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just, there's a lot of great shows this season. Um, I'm excited to see where spring anime takes us. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to wrap it up here. Sorry, I went through a lot of shows. There's a lot I still need to see. I will say that's on me. But for the most part, there is a lot of above average isekai, a lot of above average isekai, or fantasy stories. But there's also a lot of great big hitters returning for their sequel series. And this we'll get some really great anime. Like I think Windbreaker is gonna be awesome. Kaiju 8 Go is gonna be awesome. And what's the other big original anime that's gonna be great? Re Monster is pretty good. And yeah, I think it's just those that are gonna be like sort of the big hitters for the original anime this season, which isn't bad. Oh, and the Super Sentai. How did I forget the Sentai Daishi Kaku? That one is also gonna be some of the best original anime for the season. But for the most part, it's going to be dominated by the goated sequels. I mean, we have Konosuba, Demon Slayer. At that time, I got reincarnated into a slime, and Mushoku Tensei. So, oh, Moonlit Fantasy too, can't forget that. But again, we're getting more of the same great stuff, more continuations of amazing stories, and then we're getting a couple new great original thrown in here and there. So, yeah, I just wanted to share my thoughts on sort of this list. I'm just kind of spinning around now. And let me know what you guys think about this format. I'm trying new formats for my videos so I can get videos out faster to you, but also sort of break down my thoughts on it. And I will do a tier list for the season. Like, I think that was actually a really great video, was my tier list for winter anime. I'll do the same thing for when spring ends. Because I'll have a lot to say. And I think ranking it is a lot better. So I also mentioned this in my last video too. There is a big announcement coming in the end of May. I've been working on something. That's why I've been sort of stalling with videos lately, which is completely on me. I want everyone to know that. Completely on me. But when it comes to like just going forward with my channel, I wanted to make a change that will improve the quality of my life in terms of editing these videos and filming these videos, as well as for you to not only get high quality videos, but more consistent uploads on my part, as well as sort of a community that's built. Because right now I think I have a lot of great people who watch my videos. I just want to find a way where we can start to connect a little bit more. That is my goal going forward into this new year. I am still very thankful for where I am at this point. I love all the support recently. I love everyone leaving comments and sharing their own opinions about a video or topic that I chose as well. I think that's fantastic. So yeah, I just wanted to sort of talk about that and yeah, share my sort of experience in regards to it. So this video has already gone long enough. I know you're probably tired. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell to stay updated, because I'm going to be posting more frequently. And come May, end of May, you're going to want to be there day one when I finally unveil what I've been working on for the past, I want to say 3 weeks. I started 3 weeks ago. It's a big project that I have, and honestly, if it works out, it would work out in the favor of everyone, both for me and for you. So yeah, thanks for watching.